Welcome to ACT Prep Day 9. Hopefully you have downloaded your bell ringer or you've gotten it from me in class. So again, the bell ringer, we are doing prior knowledge. Still probably, this is 8th grade math, 7th grade, 8th grade math, stuff you were doing in middle school. So take a moment, pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes, and then when you're done, unpause and we'll go over the answers. Okay, welcome back. And if we look, let's go over the answers here. 6 times negative 2x gives us negative 12x, because 6 times negative 2, negative 12 times the x. Minus 14x, when they're both the same sign, we add them together. Okay, so negative 12x plus negative 14x is going to give us negative 26x. Here, I would simplify in the parentheses first because 2x minus x is going to give us x. And that's where we get 5 times x plus 3. And then we do the distributive property. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. We've got fractions. We're dividing. So you should remember same, change, flip. So we keep the first one the same. Change to multiplication, and then we flip. We do the reciprocal. So 2 over 1 changes to 1 over 2, and you get 5 times 1 is 5, 8 times 2 is 16. Again, same change, flip. Keep the first one the same. Change to multiplication. Flip 5 6 to 6 fifths, and we get 7 times 6 is 42. 9 times 5 is 45. It simplifies. Now, I do math old school way. I would have recognized that 6 and 9 both have a factor of 3. So this can change to a 2 and this can change to a 3. And this is how, when I was younger, we made sure we got simplest form, because 7 times 2 is 14 and 3 times 5 is 15. We could factor out a 3 out of both the top and the bottom. Okay, percents and ratios. I'm very, very passionate about teaching percents because one of the biggest questions I always get as a teacher is where am I going to use this in everyday life? And percents and ratios, those are used all the time, especially percentages. You pay taxes, tipping in a restaurant, all of those are percentages. When you go shopping, when things are on sale, they're a percentage off. So percentages are definitely something you want to master. Now, when we talk about percent, this is really meaning how many out of 100. So if I had 100 people, how many would be yes or be no, or whatever I'm asking for? So 24% means 24 out of 100. So if I was asking how many people like spinach, 24%, that's 24 out of 100. Or that could be reduced to 6 out of 25. Now, when you convert from percent to decimal, you move left two positions and you drop the percent sign. Here's what I always tell my students. We're going from percent to decimal. There's an R in percent. There's an L in decimal. We are moving the decimal point from right to left. Okay, percent to decimal, right to left. We're moving it 2 signs. So here, if we have 24%, this would be 24.0%. We're going to move the decimal from the right side 2 places to the left side. And now we have 0.24. If we are converting from a decimal to a percent left to right. Now we're going to move from the left 2 places and reposition our decimal point. That's how I remember. Am I going left? Am I going right? You'll see me go percent to decimal, right to left. So percent is a piece of a total. When we do calculations, a lot of times you got to convert the percent to the decimal or fraction form. I hardly ever convert it to fraction form unless it's like 25%. Then I know it's 1/4 or 75%, 50%, easy fractions. And again, it's whatever comes up in your brain first. You've got to make sure, though, if you're multiplying and dividing, that you keep your decimals in the correct place. And again, a calculator will help you avoid that mistake. Now, where do we use percentages? Again, I just mentioned this, sales tax. Sales tax is 9.25%. When things are on sale, it's usually 10% off, 20% off, 40% off. When you get an adulting job, if you have a job that has sales commission, you need to know how to calculate that commission, because as somebody who used to do payroll, mistakes do happen. And you need to make sure that you are getting paid the correct amount on your commission. Polls and surveys. We're getting ready to, when we have elections, this candidate won because they got 53% of the votes, or they only got 42% of the votes, so they lost. And then if you get into statistics, when you start talking about studies with samples, you'll be able to say, 53% said yes, things like that. Now, ratios. Ratios are when we compare two values, okay? Again, this isn't a fraction. This is a comparison. They can be expressed two ways. We can express them as a fraction, and we call this fractional notation. Or we can use the colon, as you see here. We can use the colon or the word two. Here's our example. It says 18 out of 27 students polled preferred pizza over chicken nuggets. So we would be able to write this as, in fractional notation, it's 18 out of 27. The fractional notation is good because I can do 18 divided by 27, math enter on my calculator, and it'll give me the simplified form there of 2/3. So that means 2 out of every 3 students prefer pizza over chicken nuggets. We would write it that it's a 2-to-1 ratio. For every 2 students that prefer pizza, 1 prefers chicken nuggets. And notice this adds up to 3, which is right here. And that's something to remember when you have the ratio. Now, again, I talked about this. 2 for pizza, 1 for chicken nuggets. That's 3 total students, okay? So our fraction was reduced 2 out of 3. And again, notice I'm not saying 2/3. It's a ratio. It's 2 out of 3 students prefer pizza. Now, this is what's called an extended ratio. It's got more than 2. So here we're comparing 3 things. And this ratio, 2 to 6 to 10, would be the same as 1 to 3 to 5. Because they're all even numbers, we can factor out a 2. When we divide each one of these by 2, we get 135. We also could increase it if I do this in recipes. If I take a recipe and I want to triple it, then I take each one of the measurements, and every one of them I multiply by 3. So if I wanted to increase this and say, ooh, it's too small, I want it 4 times as big, then I'm going to go through here and multiply each one of these numbers by 4. 2 times 4 is 8, 6 times 4 is 24, and 10 times 4 is 40. Now, here's our ACT example. If you want, pause the video, take a moment, see if you can figure it out on your own, then unpause, and we'll go over the answer. So, Joe has a 40-foot long board, and he wants to cut it into 3 pieces. The ratio of the lengths of the 3 pieces is 5 to 6 to 9. So, what is the length to the nearest foot of the longest piece? Okay, so this is saying if the first one is 5 units, the second one is 6 units, and the third one is 9 units. Well, that doesn't mean the answer is just 9. This is the extended ratio. There's 2 ways that you can do this. The textbook way is going to tell you to do 5x plus 6x plus 9x is equal to 40. Because we need to know what constant number they have multiplied each one of these ratio factors by to equal 40. And so 5x plus 6x is 11x plus 9x gives me 20x equals 40. So that means that we are increasing this ratio by a factor of 2. So instead of it being 5, 6, and 9, it's going to be 10, 12, and 18. So the longest piece is 18. Now, is there another way you could have done this? Yes. And some people catch this. What's 5 plus 6 plus 9? This equals 20. 20 does not equal 40. So to go from 20 to 40, I need to double it. Double each one of the numbers. Okay, 6 questions today. So get your timer, set it to 6 minutes, hit pause, and then unpause when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, welcome back. And here you've got on the first one, Sarah and her friends went to lunch one day. Each person paid for their own lunch, but they agreed to split the tip. This is a real world one because we all eat out. If the tip amount was 15% of the total and all the lunches equaled $60, what was the portion of each person's tip amount? I do tend to do this a little differently. Textbook-wise, you're going to do $60 times 15%. I'm going to convert it to a decimal, and that's going to give you $9. Since we use percentages so much in real life, I tend to do mine a little different. And the reason is 10% is the easiest percentage to calculate. What is 10% of $60? You just move the decimal point one place, it's 6. What's 10% of $55? $5.50. What's 10% of $121? That's going to be $12.10. It's really easy. So if I do 10%, this can be 10% plus 5%. 10% of 60 is $6. Well, if 10% is $6, what's half of that? 5% is half of that, $3. So my tip is 9, and I didn't need a calculator. If I did the math up above, this 60 plus times what, 15, I'd need a calculator. But when I break it into 10%, $6, what's half of $6? $3, it's $9. My tip's $9. And then after you get the $9, you want to divide by 4. And 9 divided by 4 is going to give me 2 1/4, and that's $2.25. Now, what is 1/4% of 5/8? This one's tricky because if it's 1/4, I'm going to go ahead here and convert it to a decimal, 0.25%. So if I'm going from my percent to decimal, I'm going right to left. I need to move it 2 places. And I fill in these gaps with zeros. So now I'm going to do 0.0025 times 5/6. Math enter. And I get 1/480. Now this one I'm really curious. How many of you put 100? Yeah, that's not the right answer. Actually not 100, 105. Yeah, I bet you put 105. That's the one I'm thinking. Because most of you probably did okay, it decreased by 15%, then when it went up, that's a difference of 5%, it's 105. No, it's not. Now, I'm going to show you how I solve it. I'm going to make the A number, and I've told you, when they don't give you the number, create one. So my number I'm going to use is 100. Why? When we're dealing with percentages, 100, it's easy. It's so easy. So what is 15% of 100? Well, that's $15. It's easy. So if I subtract out $15, I now have $85. So we decrease this number by 15%. Now we want to increase it by 20%. Well, what's 20% of $8.85? That's $17. How did I do that? 8 times 2 is 16 plus 5 times 2 is 10, 17. So when we increase this, I get 102. And you do this a lot when you are shopping. Sometimes it'll be like, take an extra 50% off the lowest marked price. And if it was already 50% off, well, you're not getting it for free. 50 plus 50 would mean, oh, it's free. No. It's if it was $20, take 50% off. Now it's $10. Now take an additional 50% off the $10. Now we're paying $5 for it. Yeah. Big difference there. Here we've got, and I covered it up. So you've got one of our guys selling products. Let me get out my booklet here so that I can tell you correctly. You're getting a commission check. You got it was $420. You sold $2,800 in product to receive that commission. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what your percentage is that you're getting commission on. So what percent of, so that's an X, of, what is it, $2,800 equals $480. So we're just going to do 480 divided by 2,800. And I believe you get 2,800. Do I have a calculator here? Yes, I do. Again, I could do this math by hand, but yeah, calculator makes it so much better. Who wants to do long division? It's 480 divided by 2,800. Really? Oh, not 480, it's 420. You've probably been screaming that at the screen this whole time, haven't you? Good catch if you did. 2,800. So the percentage that you're being paid is 15%. And now we're able to go here to the 3,500. 3,500 times 15%. And again, I can use the same method I did before. 10% is 350. Half of that is 175. So that's going to end up giving me 525. Now we're doing ratios. And so you've got the local grocery store is tracking. They're doing a marketing promotion on social media. They want to see if it's working. What are the odds that the winner, if they choose a winner, that the winner shops in the store 4 or more times a week? Okay, well, if we look at this, our answer ends up being 9 out of 41. If we look at this, we have 18%. So that's going to be 18 out of 100. But our ratio is going to be, you do 100 minus 18, and that's going to give us, there's 18 people that shop 4 times a week, and there's 82 that do not. Okay, those are the odds. And so then when you reduce those, you get 9 to 41. Their odds are 9 to 41. Here we've got Mike, Sam, and Josh shared a pizza. What is the ratio of Mike's to Sam's to shares? Josh's share. So Mike is 1/3. Sam is 1/4. And then Josh ate the rest. So this is where you've got to do 12 out of 12. 12 over 12 and subtract 1 minus 1/3 minus 1/4. And what you're going to end up getting, let me do this real quick. 1 minus, hold on. So I'm going to get 4/12 plus 3/12. That's going to give me 7/12. And so that tells me that the last one is 5/12. And again, if we change all these to have 12 on the bottom, you can see this is going to become a 4, 12. This is going to become a 3 and a 5 and then a 5. So my answer is this one right here. 4 to 3 to 5. Just put them in fraction form, get all the common denominators, and use the top number. Oh, that's supposed to go up one more. Okay, so now complete your exit ticket. And this one says you're given the ratio. You got 2 green, 4 pink, and 3 yellow. So that's of jelly beans. That's a 2 to 4 to 3 ratio, extended ratio. In a bag of 27 jelly beans, how many are going to be yellow? Now you have to look at the extended ratio. What does that add up to? This is very much like the example I just went over in the lesson. So if you've forgotten it, either look back in your notes or rewind to that part of the lesson. It pretty much explains exactly how to do this. So you should get a 10 out of 10. Enjoy doing your math and see you for the next lesson.